Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Woohoo, party. TGIF, happy Friday. Of course, cryptocurrencies sure going through a wild bunch of gyrations here of late. Actually, I guess this fear greed index that these guys put up here for the crypto market, it must be pretty heavily weighted towards Bitcoin, eh? Because that's just come off appreciably here. Kevin, if maybe you could throw yourself on mute, probably a good idea while we're doing this. We'll see how he does with that. Anyway, stock market's kind of wishy-washy. I mean, we got off a big win today because one of our cryptocurrency stocks came back after a trading halt, but I mean, that was an outlier. I mean, nice win. Yeah, gotta love the wins. Throw a couple grand onto the pile and move on to the next one. But on balance, I'm not really seeing huge, monstrous moves. Kind of just wishy-washy, which isn't really the most professional description, but it's the only way I can really describe it. Actually, the word that I'm using is just like the Bitcoin chart that I was sent out there a few days ago. It's not really that excuse me. It's not really that I'm bearish. I'm just unbullish, if that's possible. So that's sort of the way I am looking at almost the whole market, to be honest with you. Yeah. So looking at your screen, what we like to put together for you is which one? This one. U.S. dollar did pivot through an EVU there the other day, and we're kind of postulating whether this is some big honking inverted head and shoulders here now. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Up day, it should be sort of a risk off kind of day. And actually, this should be an interesting conversation to have with you guys, for the next 10, 15 years. The U.S. dollar index will transition as the global economy loses significance and the U.S. economy starts to regain its significance. We should see over the next 10, 15 years, the U.S. dollar, it will transition that when it's actually bullish, that's a risk on. And when it's bearish, that's risk off. So, ironically enough, because we've just made this big pivotal shift here, almost everything that we've done in the marketplace will actually be exact opposite now. Which is so funny, right? Because people, especially engineers, and actually you would think engineers understanding electricity would understand that circular motion, but especially like doctors and lawyers and stuff, they want to come to the market and they want to have a set of rules and everything stays exactly set, and this is the way you do things, and the market never works that way. And ironically enough, the market itself, there's many different sort of cycles that are all simultaneously happening. And every cycle, of course, has, an apex, it has a median, and it just sort of oscillates back and forth. So, as I said there, ironically enough, now we actually transition into a 15-year period where U.S. dollar bullishness will be bullish. But as I told the community today, like these Jupiter-Saturn conjuncts, from one full generation cycle to the next full generational cycle is 40 years. So will it take maybe a couple years for us to sort of see the forest through the trees, get into that world? I think so. And ironically enough, assets, like all global assets, it seems, are getting bid up here now. So what does that mean? Have we actually built in now? We could have like 2 or 3 year slump in asset prices. Just to clean all that up as we make our transition. I think that actually is a pretty good case to be made as well. And that's along sort of like these lines. Not that one. This one. Sort of how long does it take for us to actually start to really see the next bull market, right? Next generational push. I think we're through this period here. And in today's chart, right? I gotta find. Remember this is the Ficasi adjusted. So a Ficasi adjusted would probably just go back and forth. But if they just keep printing more money, which I don't think I think they've gotten a little bit of religion on this. There's one guy, I think he calls himself the Bond King or something like that. And he was illustrating in one of his recent pieces how M1 and M2 are starting to disconnect. And that might be sort of the early warning signs that what we've seen with this, runaway sort of money printing kind of, we just got to get through the crisis, throw as much money as you can at this market just to keep everything stable. Have we seen that that might be an old story. I don't know whether we're going to actually be seeing too much of that going forward. I think that the market was anticipating another big stimulus here. So I think a lot of that was being priced into the market, especially the way we saw the bonds really get hit there recently. Now, that might actually be old news. And we have to think about, okay, what does the future look like? I don't know. I tell you, two areas of the market that have me very concerned right now. International markets believe they're much stronger and much more powerful than they really, I think, are. There's a shitload of global debt that's all coming due, and it's denominated in US dollars, which means all those international borrowers have to have US dollars when those bonds come due. So that trade feels incredibly one-sided. And then also this sort of the pessimism trade. It also feels incredibly one-sided. I mean, if you went out in the street today and you just asked Joe Sixpack, I bet you they'd probably say that things look pretty damn gloomy. And the irony of it all is that that's actually the best time to invest. Drives you crazy, but that's usually the case. So I am out there aggressively hunting for value names, for names that look technically appealing. A lot of names that I have invested in over the past years, I've just gone absolutely apeshit, and I can't justify investing in them now. I mean, like that Mara, what a great example. I don't know how someone could possibly think, we were buying this stupid thing at 30 cents a share. And here we are up here at $18 a share. We hit a high of $28. I mean, we were investing in this thing down here. How can you justify coming in and investing way at almost 50x? It just doesn't make sense to me. And this is what I'm worried about. It's not really like I'm bearish of Mara. I'm bearish of crypto. It's just that I'm just unbullish. So can't be a buyer, and of course I sell all the way up. So if they want to keep taking this higher, fine, I'll sell more stock. But I couldn't be a buyer of this stuff here. That's actually very typical of a lot of what the market looks like. Very dangerous. So US dollar is enjoying a bit of an update. Stocks are coming back a bit. They actually opened up quite a bit lower as well with crude. Crude actually painted a double top breakdown here today. So that was a bit of a surprise. The question I have here is how much of this is options related. There's that bond market got punched last, I guess a week or two ago. Trying to stabilize here. I suppose if the stocks do top out, then the bonds will probably find a bid. The gold and the silver looking a little bit firmer. Shows, I was pleased to see that little FR, I think it is, First Majestic, is it's performing. Trade's doing its thing, so my job there, just don't get in the way of it. Small caps, looking heavy. Kind of like the stocks and the oil. Things are looking heavy. Problem here, of course, is, gee whiz, that's gone an awful long way. Could we take a month or two to clean this up? Yeah. That wouldn't be outlandish. Cryptocurrency, same sort of conversation. I still like the idea that cryptocurrencies are leading the market. It was just simple trend line trading. Yeah, having fun demonstrating this to people. We were talking a little bit through the daily brief about how there's still a B, C, D objective down here that really should be traded to. So I don't know how real this bottom is. I got a funny feeling it's something along these lines. It looks like there's a bit of an inverted head and shoulders that they've tried to put in, and charts I was sharing with the community today were like this. We had some people that were kind of thinking this was a pivot point, but I'm just worried that, off the higher time frame, you got a big M in there now. So if anything, I like the idea counter trend rallies would be new shorting ideas. I mean, I can understand people were thinking about hunting longs. I'm just worried that through all this, I think they're just setting up liquidity pools to break the kids' hearts. And what I was trying to demonstrate to the site people today was, it's really our best interest if this is a bottom. Maybe it's going to look like a triangle. That's usually how these things look. Maybe this is like an atom bottom, and then we get like an eve over here. These are the best trades. And you want to try and sneak in off something like that. And let the test of these lows happen. And if the market can hold these lows and start doubling out, then okay. Maybe we can start thinking about longs. But right now, this just feels like what they call a dead cat bounce. And actually, interestingly enough, off the higher time frames, we were making reference to this, that is a 38.2. This is what market should come down into these levels. It's just sort of your keep you honest level. So really nothing out of here is new, nothing surprising. It's actually quite cliche, ironically enough. But I can't really start getting bullish again until maybe we start getting like 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. All right, we actually have something to work with. So the fact that we just made a new low means if this is still a bull, it's got a lot of work to do to clean up. My hunch is through the weekend, crypto kids, they're having fun in DeFi. A lot of these crypto names are rallying. I could see something like that. Candle body highs for trade location, the original M structure top when I sort of put out that tweet, I'm unbullish. Well, that's because what I was, can't touch this kind of shit when it looks like that. I suppose we could argue if we actually get an M below this trend line. So actually, remember I showed you that trend line study? I've been having a lot of fun with that recently. But if we got an M there, that would actually be a half decent short, which would be like a bearish bot looking for A, B, C, D continuation lower. But for the time being, they had massive dump, panic, freak out. Sky's falling. Candle body lows for trade location. You've heard Brian talk about that before. So I guess it shouldn't surprise us that a pivot came in through here. And like I said, 38.2. I think this is just very natural. And believe it or not, over the next little while, I would not be surprised to see us all over the place. Both sides, just absolute mess. Keep in mind, ETH's event is until way out here in February. I'd also say, too, like specifically with Ethereum, I put out these kind of messages that this son of a bitch, this could get really dangerous here for your pocketbook if you're going to step in here. And look at what they're doing, man. They're just breaking people's hearts right, left, and center. I mean, it's encouraging for the bulls that we have this nice big tail. Obviously, there's buying interest down in here. And there's the 8th. I mean, this son of a bitch might go right up here. Don't get into the business of predicting what's going to happen here. Just, roll with the punches. Trade your setups. I mean, you see my trade locations. So if we do get this pullback against this trend line, awesome. I can step in on the buy side if I've got W's and divergences and all that. And ironically enough, I wouldn't actually think of, like, unless I saw a nice pretty M come in here, kind of like the opposite of what I just said there about the W's and triangles. Now, if I wanted to short this, what I'd actually like to see is a nice counter trend rally up against these highs and then a nice M. Then, okay, maybe we got something. But as it stands right now, this has got just trouble written all over it. And that's sort of the same thing that I see on Bitcoin. It's just got trouble written all over it. And what that means to me, I'm not necessarily bearish. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to zero. It's going back down. I'm just unbullish. And that's probably the way I would describe how I'm feeling right now. The only other thing I would say is, keep an eye on your altcoins through the weekend. There's probably going to be some money to be made. Fascinating to see how these Feigenbaum levels. Actually, well, that's a bit higher, isn't it? Interesting. All right, yeah. Well, based on this Feigenbaum study, I think we could probably work our way up here. I did see another study I did off of this, though. Maybe it was this one here. But if we break this, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Point here is very uppy, very frothy market. I don't have any buy setups here. That's certainly nothing I'd be interested in. But congratulations to the DeFiers, right? The DeFiers. That's good. I know I did get off a nice little double on stake there, so I got a free position on that one. We talked about that Unibright. Great looking chart. What a great analogy of Q reversals, eh? Like we have a Q reversal screener on TRI. Man, oh goodness. But that's another conversation. Sjord's LTO looks great. Don't touch it. Just let it do its thing. DeFi, they've jumped up quite a bit here, eh? This is not a DeFi screen. Where the hell is the DeFi screen? I thought I had it on here. Around here somewhere. There was this one. Yeah. Link. I mean, you can see where the W is way over here. So coming in on the buy side there, I don't know. Oh, look at that ant. Nice Wyckoff check there. You might want to look at that. That's versus Bitcoin, though. Be careful looking at these things versus Bitcoin. Oh, hello. Look what's going on with Digi. Digi's got a nice W versus BTC. And versus dollar. That's actually a railroad tracks right at the bot level. Well, keep an eye on that. I was mentioning this to the community today. This thing looks fucking incredible. Look at that chart. Son of a bitch. I had some stink bids get filled down here recently, so was a buyer, but look at that chart. I'm going to keep an eye on this through the day. If that's a railroad tracks, that's a double bottom. I mean, Jesus, that looks good. So I got a funny feeling, through this weekend, if Bitcoin can kind of go sideways and sort of calm down a little bit, we could have a little window here for the alts. And actually, there's interesting little sort of, tidbit names. I don't know whether they're breakout buys. We're still awfully early in the season. But we were talking about, like, Mana here, for example. I mean, you should look at that chart and go, oh, there's a W, big surprise. And most TRI people are interested. But, look at this range. Is there money to be made? I mean, we just do like a 50% roll. Let's see what we got here. You can see I already bought and sold. Maybe I should go and throw some bids in here and buy some back. I don't know. 50%. That's 670. The double bottom there was 300. What a surprise. But, if you're interested in the trade, I was telling the people on the site today, I'm just going to, actually, we've come now up to this trend line. So what I'd like to see here, again, think that triangle kind of thinking. Maybe it looks something like that. If we could get, we'll probably see some sort of traffic at this trend line. We're against these old highs now, too. Probably Feigenbaum levels. It would make sense. But if we could see now a nice little pullback and then, Ideally, I'd love to get like a W on the other side of this trend line. Oh my goodness, that would just be sexalicious. So that's kind of the part of the market that's got my interest right now. Obviously, I can't buy that. And they announced Atari was going to go into Decentraland. That's some pretty big news. So, that's the kind of fundamental. Look at all these little W's. They're all over the place here. Look at this, Ambrosius. Look at that W. Son of a bitch. So, they're there. I'm not going to tell you what to buy or sell, right? This is edutainment. You all know that. Hopefully I've shown you enough. If you draw 50% rules and the size of the W that you're going to risk on, let's just do this Ambrosius. Probably a good example. There's your 50% rule. Is that it right there? Yeah, it is. So just even a trader, right? Is it worth my while? I don't know how many shots I'm going to have to take. You can see, well, this one I took my shot, got stopped out. Well, shit happens. Here comes another one. How many of these do you have to take until you actually hit that 50% roll? This one's a very, very tight little W too, eh? Look at that. It's just so pretty. I mean, where the hell's a 50% roll? It's all the way up here. Holy but Jesus. 18-1 risk reward. Now that's the kind of number I could work with. You want to just throw your reload zone stink bids in here and see if you can get filled on a pullback? Okay, we'll see what happens. I don't know whether that 50% roll is realistic. Could you buy at 47 and look to sell half up in the 90s or around $1 here? 100 and get a risk-free position, sell half on a double? It's not unrealistic. So, there they are. There's another name just sitting there. And that's, I've talked to you guys about this before. Usually when everybody's going ape shit about Bitcoin, I'm sort of sniffing around the altcoin market saying, all right, when Bitcoin's done its thing, that's probably when these things will start waking up. And you can kind of see it happening now. The easiest way to, help you is just simply hunt for the W's. Okay, I think I'll leave the rant at that. I have no idea how long I talked. Probably way too long. Hope you guys all enjoyed that. Broiler chickens on Sunday. Hopefully we'll see lots of people for that too. Have yourselves an awesome rest of your day. Get out there and have some fun in crypto land, stock land too, even warrant land for that matter. All right, all the best, and bye for now.